Hi, this is Scott Heintzelman of the Exuberant Accountant blog, and with me today is Amanda Kay from the UK, and I'm real excited to have Amanda with me today. As many people know, McKonly Asbury is a member of the Worldwide Accounting Association called IGAF Polaris worldwide, and there's about 380 firms, I believe, that are part of that association, Amanda's firm being one of them. And Amanda is from HURST Company, which is headquartered in Manchester, UK, United Kingdom. And about 2 years ago, one of our employees, Aubrey Taylor, spent 6 or 7 weeks over in Manchester visiting as part of an employee international exchange program. And today, 2 years later, Amanda's had the opportunity to come to our firm, and she's actually going to be leaving at the end of this week. It's just sad. We're going to miss Amanda. But as so many of our clients continue to expand globally, and many are looking to expand, Europe's a big opportunity for the United States companies. And one of the things we want to do is become better business advisors. And how we do that is we do a lot of reading, we do a lot of international work, and we start to learn more about it. But having an employee exchange program is clearly one of the best things to really immerse ourselves in the customs, the culture, the business language. And so it's been a great experience on our end. And what I want to do today is to really talk to Amanda and learn what she's found in this experience, the differences that she's found, some of the similarities, maybe there's some different terminologies. I know there's some funny stories too about maybe driving on the wrong side of the road. But let's meet Amanda. Amanda, welcome.
Hi, Scott.
I love your accent, Amanda. It's been great to have you here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got selected to come over here, maybe some of your reservations or hesitations about coming, but tell us a little bit about that process.
Well, at HURST, the partners have to commit to fulfilling our 2-year career development plan. So we all have a 2-year career development plan, and part of mine was I wanted to work abroad. And because Aubrey had already been over to work with us, they came to M&A and asked, I will come over here. And you kindly said yes. And so here I am.
It's been good. Did you have any reservations at all coming to the United States? Any?
Not really. I've been before, so I knew what to expect.
Okay.
And I knew that it wasn't too dissimilar from home, so
Sure.
I knew what I was going to be getting myself into.
And just a little background, you are an auditor.
Yes.
You spent most of your, okay, and how many years have you been in
I have worked at HURST now for 3.5 years.
Okay, okay.
And I qualified 6 months ago.
Okay, and we in the United States call it a CPA. You are a certified,
I am a chartered accountant.
certified chartered accountant,
Yeah.
which is the equivalent of being a CPA in the United States. Without giving a whole, not all of our blog readers want to know everything about GAAP, but I'm curious, what are some of the differences between US GAAP and in Europe you still use the International Accounting Standard, am I correct?
Well, most of our clients at HURST use UK GAAP.
UK
because
GAAP, okay.
They're not PLCs.
Right, and GAAP stands for Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, which is kind of a standard in the US, and so UK has their own accounting standards and you're using that. And if I'm correct, your accounting standards are more in line with what the United States is trending towards this IFRS, International Financial Reporting, okay, and which is a lot more fair market reporting, am I correct? Okay. How did you find auditing in the United States for the weeks you've been here now?
It's a bit different. It's a bit more standardized, like the terminology used and the way that it's sort of set out. But generally, it's been very similar.
Can you give me an example of what you mean by that, just in terms of...
Say for example, when we're talking about a member of staff as a client, I would just refer to them in my working paper as Bob or financial controller, whereas you'll put the first name, surname, and then their job title. So it's just a little bit more
formalized.
But other than that,
okay.
really any difference.
Okay. And do you have a particular niche that you audit over there that you spend a lot of time in?
Not really.
Okay.
A mixture. Really. Generally, HURST have more for-profit clients.
For-profit clients, right.
But I think that's just because in England, if you turn over more than the equivalent of, say, $10 million, you have to have an audit.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, there's just more demand
Right.
for them, I suppose.
Who requires that? Is that the government that requires it? Interesting, okay. Because in the United States, the government doesn't legislate audits here unless you're a publicly traded entity. So it's usually, that is a very different thing. I don't think I realized that. That we're not as regulated. I mean, a lot of U.S. businesses feel like we're regulated a lot, but it's not to the extent that you guys are.
No.
Because in the United States, you don't have to have an audit unless someone is requesting, it, like a bank, for
Yeah.
instance. Interesting. What other differences did you find that were kind of unique?
To be honest, most of it's been very similar. I suppose benefit plan audits.
Right, retirement plan
Yeah,
audits.
things like that. We don't really do that at home
Okay.
because our welfare system's so different. So.
You all, in the UK, you have a United Government Welfare Retirement Plan that you are assisting. Okay.
And same with healthcare as well. So.
Yeah, healthcare as well. Interesting. Yeah, so here we have 401k, retirement plans, health and welfare plans, and when they reach a certain size, when there are 100 employees, we're required to have those audits done. That's interesting. That's an interesting difference as well. What were some of the similarities? I mean, you mentioned some of them already, but some of the language I imagine is very similar. Balance sheets, income
Yeah.
statements, those things.
The language, very similar. The team setups are very similar. The way that the team works together is very similar to how
Okay.
we work at home.
Okay.
So.
Talk about the work schedule. I'm just curious if it's similar. I mean, you're...
We don't work as long hours.
Maybe that's just a McKonly Asbury thing.
Yes.
So our hours, in the United States, our firms are working more hours in a day.
I think so, yeah,
Okay.
generally.
Interesting. That's interesting. I did not know that. Well, tell us a little bit about, because we set you up that you have your own apartment.
Yes.
You would call it something different, a flat, right? And we also got you a car that you could be driving
Yeah.
around. And well, that was a different experience to be driving on the other side,
Yes.
the steering wheel on the opposite side, and
Yeah.
also, yeah. Tell me a little bit about that experience, kind of living conditions and living here in the States.
Well, my flat was lovely. It's lovely. Just getting used to driving on the side of the road and the different driving rules, like you can turn right on a red light,
Right.
which you don't have at home.
Okay.
And all the stop signs. We don't have stop signs at home.
Really? They're just
No,
yield
we do.
signs?
Yeah, we just have yield signs, or I think it's just assumed that you'll stop.
Okay.
I think I was going to to a right at first because I wasn't noticing stop signs, which is not a good idea. Really. So,
And you had no traffic citations while you're here, correct?
correct.
That's good. But I hear rumors of a story that you may have been driving on the wrong
Yeah,
side.
they were only in the supermarket car park, though, not on the actual road. But I think I confused half the supermarket by how I was driving. So.
Oh, that's
It
priceless.
has improved with time, though.
I'm sure it would. When you get back to the UK, you'll have to adjust again.
Yeah, I'll be driving on the wrong side of the road.
Right, interesting. Well, what other things did you enjoy about your experience here?
Well, I've got to see lots of new places.
Right, you visited.
I've been to Washington, Philadelphia, Baltimore. I went to New York last weekend.
Is that your first trip to New York City?
Yeah, I've been before.
You've been before, okay.
But it was nice to get back.
What is the perception of New York City from people in the UK and in England? What is, when you think of New York, what do
I
people?
think New York is something sort of how people see America as a whole,
Okay.
which is quite interesting because having lived here,
It's very different.
very, very different.
Right.
And so that was quite interesting, sort of,
Most of the United States is actually very, very rural.
yes.
And you know, the urban environment in New York City, it's very
Yeah,
different.
different.
You can hear it in Central particularly, right? Right, that's interesting, okay. But it's still considered the financial capital of the world, I suppose.
Yeah.
And you would,
Yeah.
in the UK, would you think that as well?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Maybe with London.
Maybe London, okay, that's interesting, okay, good. But what else? Tell me some other things that happened in your experience here that were unique and exciting,
I got to go watch a baseball game for the first time,
right?
which I've not done before.
Because, you know, you have no
We
baseball.
don't have baseball in England,
Right.
so that was fun.
You are a huge
Huge
football, soccer fan,
yeah.
football fan.
So-
It was funny because I don't follow soccer that much, except the World Cup, as most Americans probably do. And you were following games midweek because they were international.
Yeah. When
Euro-
they all play like on a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
Right, the international European
So,
leagues that were
yes.
happening, which is kind of interesting to learn about that.
Yeah.
But you don't have a lot of other professional sports, if I understand
No,
correctly.
we have cricket and rugby, but not to the same extent as over here with lots of different.
Right, we have the NBA, and we have,
Yeah.
you know, basketball, football, soccer, baseball, and all kinds of things. So
And
people
our
have.
college sport isn't as big as it is over here.
Right, that's right. Your university sports
Yeah.
are not very popular. Here, I mean, particularly college football has become
Massive.
maybe the second largest entertainment industry.
I've been learning all about Penn State.
There's a lot of Penn State fans here at McKonly Asbury, no doubt. Well, that's exciting. We've sure enjoyed having you, and you leave, your last day of work is Friday,
Yeah.
and we're going to miss you. It's going to be a sad day.
Disseminate.
That's good. Well, we look forward. I will come over and visit you. Tim has been after me to come and visit in the UK. We've been together a number of times here in the States, but it's been a great experience, and hopefully as we continue to have clients that are in both countries, we're
Yeah.
looking forward to working
We'll
together.
work together.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a great experience having you here, Amanda, and thank you so much.
Thank you.